evening, Chairman Diaz. Thank you for being here with us tonight to discuss this vital issue in our community. Chairman Diaz, you have heard the testimonies of our people and how being arrested has made their life difficult. We already have an adult civil citation program, and we are asking you tonight, as the chair of the county commission, to take a lead in making it even stronger so that people are no longer being penalized for being poor. Will you support legislation calling for the adult civil citation program to be expanded and include driving without a license because of non-payment of fines as a civil citation?
Well, this is important, but we gotta be careful. I understand the issue. I myself was wrongly arrested. My nephew was also arrested for not paying a fee that he was unaware of because he had moved. So I understand this, and I understand it can happen and be a problem. But at the same time, we have to hold people accountable when they do something wrong. So we have to be really careful about how we proceed with this.
Chairman, we agree with you that people should be held accountable. And that is why we are saying these offenses should be included as a civil citation. So they still will be held accountable, but it won't derail their lives the way an arrest record will. So knowing that people are still having to take responsibility and will in fact be held accountable, will you support the addition of these offenses to the civil citation program?
Pastor, how would you feel? Imagine this. How would you feel if your family member was killed by somebody who was driving without their license? I understand to an extent what we're talking about here, but people still have to be responsible.
Chairman Diaz,
driving.
I would feel the same way if my family member was killed by someone with a driver's license. That does not matter. What you are talking about is manslaughter, which is not what we're talking about. We're talking about people who have had their license suspended because they couldn't pay a fine. Again, 94% of drivers with a suspended license aren't suspended because they're bad drivers, but because they are too poor to pay the fine or unaware they had a suspended license in the first place. Arresting people and suspending people's licenses because they can't pay a fine does not make our streets safe, sir. We're asking you to help stop this downward spiral, to not criminalize poverty or criminalize people that are not criminals, but to expand and grow a program that has been extremely effective already. Will you support the expansion of this program?
Again, Pastor, I think I've said before, I think there's some good points to this, but it's something that I need a lot more time to look at. I've met with you and your group. I met with the Archbishop one time, and now you're asking me here to support this on the spot, and it's really not a fair thing to do. So I can promise you I'll look at it, and we can go from there, but to ask me to support something on the spot like this it's not a fair thing to do. It's not fair.
Now, Chairman, we met with you nearly 2 months ago, and we shared with you data and documents leading up to that meeting. We spoke to you about this during that meeting. We sent follow-up emails after that meeting, and you said you would look into this more. We cannot afford to wait. The more time we take on this, the more lives will be derailed unnecessarily. This is something that there is widespread agreement on. The state attorney supports this. The police director supports this. The public defender supports this. And with your leadership as chairman of the county commission, we can put this in motion and be smart on crime and stop penalizing poverty while still holding people accountable, but in a fair way. Knowing you have the support of all these influential people, will you support PACT, and will you support the expansion of the adult civil citation program to include driving without a license due to non-payment of fines and fees?
Yeah, well, you bring up a good point. You have the support of the people you need. You have the support of the state attorney. That's really whose job this is to do that. So you should be speaking to the state attorney about this.
You're correct, sir. We have their support. However, the county commission is a vital piece of any change that will happen in the county, including things that are dealing with law enforcement and particularly the residents of this county. As a matter of fact, the residents of this county voted you into office because they trusted you to stand and use your influence in matters like these. As the chair of the commission, you are an influential person in making these changes happen. Will you support the expansion of the adult civil citation program?
Yes, I'm in support. I'll support.
Thank you. Let justice roll.
Let justice.